What's going on, people? A new style video today, inspired by Mark at FPL Black Box. I used to do a little bit of outdoor vlogging when I did my videos. Haven't done it for a few years, but thought I'd bring it back, inspired by him. FPL Game Week 3 coming up. Didn't do great this week. Finished with 57 points. Game Week 1 I had 56, so one better, but the average was up this week as well. So finished below the average, which means red arrows, which is annoying. So yeah, didn't have a fantastic week. I don't have Haaland, Salah, Saka, so I don't have the usual suspects that a lot of people have got, so it was always going to be a bit tougher to navigate. I captained Isaac. Yeah, didn't do that great for me. I think he got me 4. Newcastle were, I thought, a little bit lucky to not lose that game against Bournemouth. And a lot of people have done very well this week, but a lot of them would have been people that triple captained Haaland, which, as I said, I don't even have him. I have made one transfer for Game Week 3. Can't really get into Haaland at the moment unless I take a hit, which I'm not willing to do. But if I can't have Haaland, then I need another little bit of the pie from City. So I brought in Kevin De Bruyne, took out Odegaard, as Odegaard's got me 2 and 3 points in the first 2 game weeks, which is not enough for me from an Arsenal player, especially a captain that should be playing more of a role, I think, so far. So Odegaard is out. I've brought Kevin De Bruyne in, away to West Ham. I expect City to probably get the 3 points, if not get a draw. I don't expect them to lose that. Saliba got me 6 in Arsenal's win. Saliba and Van Dijk doing well for me. Adingra come off the bench and got an assist. He scored the first game week, so he's doing well. He got me 4. Would have liked a little bit more for the assist, but because he come off the bench, it was less. Didn't play as many minutes, but pretty happy with keeping him in for now. I would like to get to Haaland at some point, but at the moment I just can't afford him. So I have brought De Bruyne in to have a piece of that pie, because he'll probably be on a lot of assists and hopefully the odd goal as well. On the plus side, I did have Gordon, who scored against Bournemouth, and Palmer, who annoyingly I didn't captain, but still had him in. 17 for Palmer, but because I didn't captain him, didn't get the full benefit of that. But at least I had him in anyway. So there were a few silver linings. Virgil got me 7 for Liverpool against Brentford, but Liverpool are probably going to get a few clean sheets. They've been better than I expected them to, Liverpool, already. So for Game Week 3, currently my team, I'll put on the screen, Henderson away to Chelsea for Palace, which I'm not confident about. I think Chelsea will win that game, but I'm a bit screwed for my keepers at the moment unless I take a hit, and I'm not a fan of taking hits just to get someone in. I'll do my utmost to avoid taking hits, even if I have to sort of sacrifice for a week or 2. So I've got Henderson and Pickford as my keepers, starting with Henderson because Pickford obviously doesn't have a favourable fixture. I don't think Pickford's fixture is any easier, even though they're at home, because I think Bournemouth are a great team, so I expect Bournemouth to go there and probably get the 3 points. Stick with Henderson. I've got Saliba, Guardiola and Murillo at the back. Murillo from Forest, who was on my bench so far, but got 7 this last game week and he was on the bench, so I think I'm going to start him for Game Week 3 and pop up with the odd goal, as you can see. And he's quite a flair player, but I know he didn't have a great pre-season, but I feel like he started the season pretty well. And Forest aren't doing too bad, so I think I'm going to risk putting Murillo in, starting him. Stacked up in the midfield with 5. I've gone Palmer, De Bruyne, Pereira, Adingra and Gordon. I'm hoping De Bruyne can get me some returns, as I've just put him in, and I fancy City to get a few goals against West Ham, even if they don't get a clean sheet. Adingra, as I said, I'm happy with so far, and even if he comes off the bench, he can change the game. Palmer obviously just did a madness against Wolves with his assists and his goal. So at this moment in time, I'm going to go with the captaincy for Palmer this week coming. They're at home to Palace, obviously, and Palace have got off to a really bad start, so I think Chelsea will probably get the 3 points in that. I'm going to probably captain Palmer. Vice-captaincy, not too sure yet. Might go on De Bruyne, but not really sure at the moment. Gordon is a bit of a risk. They've got Tottenham. I think Tottenham will probably win the game, even though they're away. I think they might just edge Newcastle. They haven't been brilliant, Newcastle. He did score in the last game, obviously, but against a tougher opposition than Bournemouth in Tottenham, I think, yeah, Tottenham probably scrape it. So Gordon I'm not super confident about, but I think he's fine to leave for a few more games and just see how he goes. Pereira at Fulham, has been very good on the stats. Obviously Smith Rowe is the one that's been popping up with the goals rather than Pereira, but Pereira plays such a vital role that I expect him to get a return in the next couple of weeks anyway, whether it's an assist or a goal. So I'm just being a bit more patient with Pereira. I think he's a very good player. Didn't work out for him at United, but he's gone on to have a decent career, I think. And he's vital in that Fulham team. Up top, keep their place in Havertz and Isak. Obviously Havertz at home against Brighton. Could be a tight game. I think it'll be a very entertaining game, lots of attacking football. But I do think Arsenal will get the 3 points in the end. Havertz started the season pretty well again. Had a good season last year, pretty good Euros. I'm pretty confident that he can get an assist or a goal in this Brighton game. And Isak, as I said, is at home against Tottenham now. Tottenham are going to be coming into that game with a lot of confidence through their last game pretty easily. So hopefully Isak can at least get a goal or an assist, even if they lose, and get me some points. He hasn't had a great start to the season, Isak, so I captained him the first week and the second. I definitely don't think I'm going to be captaining him for game week 3. Maybe he'll get the vice, I'm not quite sure yet. Probably won't get the vice though, but we'll see. Some few honourable mentions for players coming in. For any of you that are wanting some tips or like advice on players you're not quite sure to make changes to your team. Obviously Madueke coming off a hat-trick in the last game against Wolves yesterday. A lot of that come through Palmer, but you still got to have someone to be clinical on the end of it, and Madueke really was. Obviously with Chelsea it's a bit more of a risk because they've got so many players that you can't help but think there's going to be rotation. So I think he is someone people should keep an eye on, but I'm not telling you to sign him because, as I said, he could be rotated at any point, but could be a good short-term option if he keeps his place. Palmer's a very difficult one to decide on because he's gone up in price from last year, big jump. He's at a team that people aren't 100% confident with, like week in, week out. But they've shown what they can do against Wolves, who they might be a bit weaker this season, Wolves, with the players they've lost, but they've still got a decent squad. And Chelsea went there and got the job done pretty convincingly. So Chelsea have shown that they can turn up and get a result now, but it's the consistency. And because he's jumped up in price so much, I don't know if people are going to be willing to take the risk on Palmer when they want to have Salah or De Bruyne in their team, or Haaland. It's hard to get all them in with the money and the budget. So I've got him in personally, but you have to remember that I don't have Haaland, Salah or Saka at the moment in my team. So sacrifices have to be made here and there depending on who you want in your team. As I said, I want to get Haaland in, but I just can't afford him at the moment. Salah's looking good, but I don't think many people are going to have both Haaland and Salah because it affects the rest of your team a lot. So I'm pretty content on not having Salah, even though I would like him as well. I definitely want Haaland more than Salah. I mean, I don't have the money for it, so I've just got to kind of navigate my way through as best as I can with the players I've got. And that is the risk you take when you don't start with favourites in the game like a Haaland or a Salah. But there'll be plenty of people in my boat that don't have them too. A lot of people obviously will, but for those of you that don't, I think another one that's goes under the radar a lot, who had a very good season last year. I had him in my team quite a bit as well and did very well for me when I did have him in. Not a lot of money either, is Semenyo from Bournemouth. Kluivert's another one that had a good season, but Semenyo specifically is another one that if you haven't got a ton of money to play around with, he's worth considering, because I had him in last season and he did very well for me for cheap. And he looks good already again and sharp. So Semenyo is another option, that sort of a budget option that you should definitely consider in my opinion. Big games, obviously Manchester United, my team, are up against Liverpool. I'm not fancying our chances, but we can pull up results in these big games at times, but I'd be happy with a draw, to be honest. I do think Liverpool will win, but hopefully we can get a result. Arsenal-Brighton, I think, will probably be game of the week. I think the Newcastle-Tottenham has the potential to be a very exciting game as well. Has done over the years, live up to the tradition that it has in the past. Let me know what you thought of this video, guys, this type of vlog video. As I said, I'm going to be doing more of them because I did used to do sort of vlog videos, for those of you that have been around on the channel for a while. it's always good to get out in nature anyway. I enjoy doing the sort of vlog walking type of videos. Gives me practice with a selfie stick. You might get some crazy looks, but I'm crazy anyway. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope your team does well this week. I'll be back at some point in the week with Premier League predictions. I've also got to do a update as I bought a second-hand club off of a guy the other day. Already used it, but I need to do that for the update of what's in my bag. So it'll only be a quick little, probably 30-second clip or something, but just to update you golf followers of mine. That'll be there at some point as well. Hope some of the suggestions could help you guys. See some of you guys for Premier League predictions in the week. Laters.